Hello everyone, today we're going to have the properties of parallelograms. So we're going to have the first one over here. So opposite sides are parallel and congruent. So the word parallelogram comes from the word parallel. So in these lines right here, or in these sides of the parallelogram, there's like this arrowheads, two arrowheads and two ticks here. That means these two are parallel. We only have one tick. And then we also have one tick over here, tick mark. So that means that these sides here are parallel. In this side, in this parallelogram, these two sides are parallel and these two sides are parallel. Okay, so let's use this property that we have here in order to find for these missing parts here. So let's take the first example on the left. So we determine the measures of CD. So CD is this side. So we see that this side is 4, and we say opposite side. So the ones that are crossed from it would be equal. So if this side is 4, this side would also be 4. And if this side is 5, across from it would be 5. So then we can go ahead and say our CD is 4 and our CF is 5. Okay. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, we go over this. Since we have this side, UT and SR are parallel and congruent, in order to solve for X, we are going to equal them to each other since they are congruent. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up. That would be 3X minus 1 equals X plus 3. So I equal both sides. So I subtract X from both sides, minus X and minus X. So then we go ahead and get 2X minus 1 equals, I'm going to cross this out, that's a 3. And then I'm going to add 1 from both sides, so plus 1 and plus 1 here. So then I'm left with 2X equals 4. And then I divide both sides by 2, divide this by 2, I cross out the 2, so then the X is 2. Okay, so once we have the X, we are supposed to put the X over here. So the X here is 2. So the X is 2. And then we are supposed to solve for SR. So to find for SR, we plug in the 2 into the equation. So that would be 3 parentheses minus 1, and then our X, now we've solved it, it's 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. So the length of SR is 5. We are expecting 5 for this since they are equal. So then we have to plug it in. So our X is 2. So I put 2 here. 2 plus 3 is 5. So our UT is 5. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the second property here. So the second property of a parallelogram states that opposite angles are congruent, while the consecutive angles means they are next to each other. They are supplementary. So these are the types of angles that are formed here. First, these two are opposite. So I would like to point that out over here. These two are opposites. These are opposite angles. These are opposite angles. These two are consecutive angle. These two are consecutive angle. These two are consecutive angles. These two are consecutive angles. Consecutive angles means they are next to each other. So let's go over the problem here. So first, we can already label that if that is 27 from the first property, across from it, the side length would also be 27. And then if this is 21, across from it would be 21. So I can fill this in that our CF is 27 and our EF is 21. Now we are supposed to find the measures of angle D, E, and F. Okay, first property, opposite angles are congruent. So these two angles are opposite. That means letter E or angle E is 83 degrees. So angle E is 83 degrees. Now, how do I find for angle D and angle E? I know that these two are equal since they're opposite. But how do we find this value given these two angles right here? Remember that consecutive angles are which are next to each other are supplementary. Remember, we have a video on supplementary angle. Supplementary angles would have a total of 180. So then I can go ahead and solve for angle D using the formula to find an angle for supplementary angles. That would be, I can add a angle C or angle E. It doesn't matter because these two are consecutive. These two are consecutive. So I can go ahead and say angle C plus angle D, since both of these should be equal to 180 since they are supplementary. So angle C is 83 plus angle D is missing, and that is 180. So then I subtract 83 from both sides, minus 83. So then I can cross the 83 out. I am left with angle D is equal to 180 minus 83 is 97. So this angle right here for angle D is 97. So I'll just use different color for this. So this is 97 degrees. And since they are across from each other, this one is also 97 degrees. So then we have completed angle D is 97 and angle F is 97. Now here's the thing that we need to remember for any quadrilateral. The total angles for any quadrilateral should always be 360. So if you add 83, 97, 83, 97, it's 360. So the total for all four is 360. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem. Let's see what you got. So since these two angles are opposite from each other, remember opposite are congruent. So then we can go ahead and congruent means they're equal to each other. So I go ahead and set it up equal to each other. So that would be 10x minus 30 equals 5x plus 20. So I subtract 5x from both sides. So minus 5x and minus 5x. So I can cross the 5x out. So I'm left with 5x minus 30 equals 20. And so I add 30 from both sides. So I want the x by itself. So plus 30 and plus 30. So I'm left with 5x equals 50. Then divide both sides by 5. I'm going to divide this by 5. So I cross out the 5. So our x is 10. So the value for x here is 10. So we wanted to determine what's the measure for angle G. So that would be, we already have the x, so we plug it in. 5 parentheses plus 20. Again, our x is 10. So I go ahead and say 5 times 10 is 50 plus 20. So angle G is 70 degrees. So this is 70 degrees. And I know that opposite to this should also be 70. So this side right here, by the way, is 70. So I'm expecting that this side is also 70. But we need to show the work. So then I go ahead and say 10 times, so that's 10 times the x minus 30. Again, our x is 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. Minus 30 is 70. So then they are equal since they are opposite. So angle E is 70. Now, to find for angle F, it's pretty much the same thing as what we did on angle D over here. So we can add any of these since both of them are 70 and they are consecutive. So I can go ahead and add angle. Let's just use angle E. So angle E plus angle F is equal to 180 because again, consecutive angles are supplementary angles. So angle E is 70. So that is 70 plus the angle F is missing equals 180. So I take away 70 from both sides minus 70 here. So I'm left with angle F is equal to 110 degrees. So this side right here is 110 degrees. Since they're opposite, that's 110 degrees. Now, if you add all of this, 70 plus 110 plus 70 plus 110, the total would be 360 because the total for any quadrilateral is 360. So angle F is 110. Angle D is 110. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now, let's move on to the third property of a parallelogram. Okay, so let's take this first example right here. So, by the way, diagonals in a parallelogram bisect each other. I would want to define what do we mean by bisect. Bisect means cut in. So this is cut in two equal parts. So that's what we mean by bisect. They are cut in two equal parts, or they're being cut in half. So the other half is equal to the other half. So cut in two equal parts. That's what we mean by the word bisect. So let's take this example right here. It says that XZ, so XZ is the diagonal. By the way, diagonals are the lines that are drawn from one corner to the opposite corner. So XZ is the diagonal and YW is also another diagonal. So XZ is equal to 30. And then this means that since 30 was cut in two equal parts, that means this one right here is 15 and this one is 15. So the total is 30. It was cut in two equal parts. It was cut in half. 15 and 15 would be 30. MY is 14. So from M going to Y is 14. So since this was cut in half, it means that MW would also be 14. So then from here, we can go ahead and fill this in. MZ is 15. XM is 15. WY is 28 because we start from W all the way to Y. Since it was cut in half, that's how we got the 14 and 14. So WY is 28. WM is 14. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so in this problem, we are given VT. So these are the two diagonals. The VT and the US are the diagonals. Now the UE, so it means that the UE right here, I'm going to label it over here. So this half of the diagonal from U going to E is 2x minus 4. And then from E going to S is x plus 3. What is our x? Since this diagonal is bisected, US was bisected. Bisected means cut in two equal parts. So that means UE is equal to ES. We equal them to each other. So that would be 2x minus 4 equals x plus 3. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides minus x here. So then we are left with x minus 4 equals 3. And then we add 4 from both sides plus 4. So then we are left with x is equal to 7. So our x right here is 7. Now we are asked for the measure of UE. So again, pretty much the same thing as what we did with the other problems. We're supposed to plug it in. So 2 times minus 4, the x was 7. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 4 is 10. So that's the length of UE, 10. And then the length of ES. This should be 10 because it was, again, cut in two equal parts. So that would be, but we show the work. So that would be 7 plus 3 is 10. So ES was 10. And so to find for the US is the whole thing. That should be a 20. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!